Hey guys, welcome to Hillbilly Talk with Shane Simmons, and this is episode 8, and I don't know why I keep counting. I'll quit that after 10. I've got too much OCD to quit before the end, but I think I can let it go at that point. Anyhows, wanted to do something that hopefully will be a little bit more lighthearted, but it's also pretty much true here, and that is, I'm calling this video 5 Easy Ways to Die when Visiting Appalachia. Because you come to me for truth, justice, and understanding, so I'm going to give it to you the cold, hard truth, the only way to serve it. But anyway, before I get started, I went to work and left my air conditioner on, and somehow we had some ridiculous cold wave. So I'm wearing a hoodie, which reminds me, it's a brand new hoodie, and it's a real Appalachia hoodie. So I'll give the link in the comments. You guys can check those out if you'd like to load up before winter, or you can get a t-shirt with the exact same logo, a coffee cup, hat. We got all kinds of stuff you could get if you like this. Of course, I love it because we're Appalachia. What can I say? Anyway, getting into the first one, the first way to get yourself killed when visiting Appalachia. And this is for, if you've never been, if you've been, you probably know what I'm talking about. The first way is to drive like a maniac. I'm telling you here, this is curve city, curve country. Curve country, it's not a city, it's rural. Curve country, you've got things like, invariably when people come here, they want to see stuff like, the Snake down there towards Shady Valley, Tennessee. Then it has 489 curves, 3 mountains and a valley, just in that one drive. I had to drive at 1 a.m. last year coming back from Carowinds, and I thought I would die behind the wheel. It was the most miserable experience of my life. So what happens is you get out here and you see these little beautiful views or a little deer over on the side, and you want to look over and watch. Next thing you know, you're over an embankment and we never hear from you again. So please, whatever you do, drive carefully. And the back of the Dragon, it has over 400 curves. You've got tail of the Dragon, it has 318 curves. So whatever you do, you're going to hear words like switchbacks. There's going to be kiss your beep, but curves. You've got drop-offs. It's like an obstacle course everywhere you go through here. So please, whatever you do, drive with caution for your own sake and for the sake of others around you. Sightseeing is wonderful, but just pull over, get the camera out, and take the picture. Don't try to drive and finesse your way through it, because that's one of the things you see a lot with visitors coming is car crashes. So, moving from number 1. That was painless. Let's go into number 2. And this is the one that I cannot understand for the life of me, how there's so many dummies that try to do this. And I'm sorry if it's you, but if you're a dummy, if you do it, pet the wildlife. Now, you go to Cades Cove, you might see a bear, you might see all kinds of animals out there and think, this is just for a good photo op. And it is. Just stay in your car and do it. Maybe if you're really feeling gutsy, roll your window down at a safe distance. But whatever you do not get close to this wildlife. The mama bear, I'm telling you, you make her mad, you threaten her babies, and you will not live to regret it. You'll be up there, you'll look like 150 pounds of ground round by the time she gets done with you. So, and I don't know, Cades Cove is notorious for, but there's other places. You get out here and you might see a bear, you might see, I saw a bobcat up in, Bell County, Pineville, Kentucky, and just don't get out, it's cute, mean. And you especially out in these woods, you're walking, you're doing some hiking, stay away. Do not try to make friends with nature. It is not your best move if you want to live to share those pictures back home with your friends and family instead of talking to God about why you acted like such a fool here on earth. So that's my advice to you there too. Do not pet the wildlife, whatever you do. The third thing, now this is a little bit more, probably going to cross a few people, make you mad, but it's just the truth. You can't come down here and bring your Yankee attitude with you, and whatever you do not do it. You're going to end up offending people. What do I mean by Yankee attitude? Well, if you don't know what I mean, then you're really maybe prone to step on this one. So, Yankee attitude is you come down, you know-it-all, you're obnoxious, you're aggressive, you're in people's face, you're not friendly, you're rude. That's the perception. Now, let me back up here. So I love a lot of Yankees. It took me a long way to get there. I was raised with the same bias and distaste for the Yankees that everybody else has, but I've tried to overcome it, and we have so many good people that watch our channels and comment to where it's like, it has changed my opinion, but I'm a man, only one man down here. So if you come in here, people hear the accent, they're going to expect these qualities out of you. And if you display them, you might find yourself in a fisticuffs down here somewhere. And it ain't going to go well for you. And one that I know that really gets people in deep doo-doo is, and because I don't cuss on here, I won't say another word, is to come and say, I know my rights. Especially if you come out here and start taking pictures of somebody's house from the road. Sure, in the eyes of the law, you're as right as rain, but I can tell you that doesn't mean diddly squat to, Joe Q Appalachia, who's out there and looks like you are threatening or trespassing on their yard. They're not going to take that to the court of law. They're going to take it into the court of their own hands, the Smith & Wesson. So don't push your luck. Be very, very as respectful, accommodating, friendly. I've said this before, but if you drive up in a holler or you get out here in any of these rural parts, you want to wave at everybody you pass. If you happen to look over and somebody's in their yard, wave at them. It kind of disarms people from thinking you're any type of a threat, because you're not going to sneak up on anybody. You're not going to discreetly go in through there and nobody know you're there. They're going to know you're there. They're going to question you and your motives. So please don't do anything to exacerbate that situation. Just come in with good, friendly attitude and you should be fine. But, I know the funny thing for me for this is too, especially verbally, if you come from the UK, Australia, any of those places like that with a nice little accent like that, you're going to be fine, much more so than the Northern American will be. So if you come in with the Brooklyn accent, maybe where it's Trump country, you could pull it off with the right demeanor, but I wouldn't push my luck. I still think that he's an anomaly. He is much of an outlier versus what the average person experiences when they come here with that type of voice. So there you go. Don't be a Yankee. Well, or hide it. And then going along with that too is do not talk liberal politics. I don't care what you might think. You may be on Twitter and you follow, or X, and follow Silas House and Barbara Kingsolver and all the friendly kumbaya liberals that are on there. This is Trump country. It's 80% Trump people down through here. And so if you come in here talking about white privilege, and that might be at your very core, your belief system, but you come down here and start preaching that stuff to folks, you're going to get sideways of somebody down here fairly quickly. So I wouldn't recommend that unless you just have a death wish of some sorts. So, nobody cares about your position on Palestine. Just there's the old Kenny Rogers song, The Gambler. You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You might believe all this stuff to your core, but you do not have to espouse it everywhere you go, because nobody wants to hear it, and you may not want to see what comes back at you if you do let that out. All right. And the fifth of the easy ways is to do not be out in the woods or in a holler after dark. Nothing good happens. They say nothing good happens after 3 a.m., or 2 a.m. I guess it is. And nothing good happens after 9 p.m. here usually. You get out here, if you're hiking, there's no cell phone service. It is, I don't know how many times, every single year somebody gets lost and goes missing and is never seen again until they've expired out in these woods. That's definitely not something you want to do. Stay on those marked trails and be back by nightfall, or you might suffer the dire consequences. And also the same thing with hollers. Unfortunately, some places it's hit and miss, but some of these places there's a reason why there's a little stereotype about drugs, because some of these hollers are a great place to make drugs, because you're up there by yourself. You can kind of see people coming from a long ways away. And at night, you got suspicious, paranoid people in some instances. And I'm saying that's not always the case. It's not even often the case, but it is occasionally the case, and you better know where you're at when you come and do that. So hopefully these are helpful tips to you for if you plan to travel to the area, because for the most part you're going to be welcomed with open arms. And certain places you can go and do whatever the heck you want to do. You go to Asheville, North Carolina, you can come with mohawk, goatskin leggings, and have pagan tattooed across your chest, and nobody's going to give you anything. In fact, you'll fit in quite well right down there. You'll be celebrated probably. But if you go to some of the other more rural areas, it's not going to be quite as welcoming for you. But Asheville, any of your major cities, you go to Knoxville, Chattanooga, any of that stuff, Charleston, West Virginia for the most part, you're going to be fine with however you are. But if you get into some of these little places where you may not know where you're at, and I would definitely say that goes for southern West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, and southwest Virginia, and parts of East Tennessee too, for that matter. It could be a little bit rougher. Western North Carolina, it's a little bit more easygoing for the most part, but just know where you're at. And also, if you are going to be hiking, read up, study those paths, because you get out here and you think you're going to use your pioneer moxie. I don't know how many times I've gotten lost out there myself, and I know this. A lot of the places I've gone to and still get lost. You just have to be very, very, very careful. Map it out. Watch for any kind of danger spots that anybody warned you about. And do your best to get along with your fellow man and your wildlife out there, and come prepared. Bring your water, good shoes, everything that I don't do. You do it. Do as I say, not as I do. And that you should be fine. If not, give me a call. I'll be your interpreter like they used to have the Indians back in the day. I can take you through Appalachia and we can navigate these waters together. But anyway, hope you have safe travels, happy travels, and come grow to love this place like we do, but also do it smartly. Do it, and you'll have a much better time. All right, guys, see you in the next one.